Hey, what's up guys? Rob here, and I'm back with a brand new Top 20 for 2020 video. Now, this theme was created by Horrific Nightmares JM and the Horror Man. Definitely go check out their channels, go subscribe. Every 15th of the month and the end of the month, they draw a theme out at random. And for March 15th, it was horror comedies, and I love me a good horror comedy. Let me tell you something though. You guys are probably going to be disappointed in one movie that I did not list, and I will get to that at the end and explain why. But this is just my personal opinion, okay? And let's get started with number 20, and that is Feast. I really like this movie. Yeah, executive producer Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Chris Moore. You got Krista Allen, which is my crush. I just think she's gorgeous. But anyway, yeah, the unrated movie Feast. I like the creatures, I like the way they look, practical gore effects, just a lot of fun. I don't think this movie gets mentioned enough, so that's my number 20 is Feast. Coming in at number 19 is the Banana Splits movie. I had a lot of fun with this as well. Tra la 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 la. Anyway, yeah, you have a the Banana Split characters are killing people because their show is being canceled, so they're just going haywire. Really enjoyed it a lot. I like the effects, I like the kills and all that stuff. Coming in at number 18 is Slither, the movie directed by James Gunn. You got Michael Rooker in it, who was also in the Guardians movies, which was also directed by James Gunn. Elizabeth Banks, very, very fun movie. I like the way they did the, effects on Michael Rooker there, the makeup effects. So, very fun movie. Some of the slugs at times looked a little fake because they are CG, but all in all, it was just, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It probably would have been higher on my list if it wasn't for some of these other ones. Number 17 is Zombieland. Now, this would probably be higher on a lot of people's lists, but for me, I think it was good. For a zombie comedy. Pretty much. I love Woody Harrelson. He's definitely one of my favorite actors. I loved him ever since White Men Can't Jump, and even, he's on the show Cheers. Old show, by the way. But yeah, good cast. I have not yet seen the second movie. It's just not a movie that I'm rushing out to go see, as far as renting it. But yeah, that's number 17, Zombieland. Number 16 is The Cabin in the Woods. I think this movie is kind of underrated. I know it gets a lot of, I don't know, it's got a kind of a bad reputation, I guess. I just like the overall cast. You got Bradley Whitford, who was in Get Out, and of course he's famous for being Eric in Billy Madison. But then you got Richard Jenkins, and I really like him. Chris Hemsworth, of course. This basically takes the horror cliche of going out into a cabin, into the woods, and stuff starts to go wrong, but they kind of make fun of it in a way and play this game. And this is kind of what I like to call a movie with layers. You start peeling back the layers and find out that there's more to what's going on. It's actually bigger than you think when it comes to the ending. So that's what I like about this film. There's just a bunch of stuff going on, and it's a lot of fun. Let's see, we're on to number 15, and that is Evil Dead 2. Do I really need to talk about this? To me, it's like, this is like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 of the series. The first one was its own film, and then the second movie basically took a different turn and kind of made it into a mockumentary or something, kind of a comedy pretty much. And that's what this movie is. Bruce Campbell was fantastic. Just had a lot of fun with Evil Dead 2. Number 14 is Motel Hell. Takes a lot of critters to make Farmer Vincent's fritters. Him and his freaking crazy psychotic sister. I mean, he's psychotic too, but yeah, she's even more psychotic. Fun movie, love it. Now, number 13 is Scary Movie 2. Now, why did I pick the second one? Because I think this movie has a better cast, because I love Tim Curry. And then, of course, directed by the Wayans brothers. But I think they took this a step further from the first movie. Now, I love the first Scary Movie. This one they make fun of a lot. They got, you know, What Lies Beneath. They got The Haunting. The Exorcist part in the beginning was hilarious. Okay, Hollow Man. That's what I don't understand about Scary Movie 3, because Scary Movie 3 had 8 Mile in there. It's like, really? Like, that's not a scary movie. Like, why would they add 8 Mile? I think they even did like $1 Million Baby. I don't know if that was 3 or 4. But they just got really stupid after that. It's like, it's not all about scary. The whole purpose of this is to make fun of scary movies. Put them all together. That's, you know, this one I felt did it the best. I was laughing from beginning to end. Okay, so Scary Movie 2, definitely good for a laugh. All right, so we're on to number 12, and that is The People Under the Stairs, a Wes Craven classic right here. This is a crazy movie. People living in the walls and in the basement, and you got this crazy couple, this guy wearing this like weird suit. You know, it's crazy, but it's definitely unique in a way. You just don't really see a movie like this. So, yeah, that's number 12. Coming in at number 11, we have Cabin Fever, which was directed by Eli Roth. Probably my favorite of his. I know a lot of people probably say Hostel is their favorite, but I love Cabin Fever because there's something about a disease that eats away at your skin and your flesh, and you can't really do nothing about it. There's something terrifying about that, and I do love the effects. And the humor in this is kind of weird humor. It's like, I don't think it landed as much. There are some funny parts, but all in all, like, you know, like when Eli Roth makes an appearance in this, he's like, Dr. Mambo, come on, Dr. Mambo. Like, some of that stuff was just cringeworthy, and I don't really think it was that funny, but I do like the gore in this. I do like the story and the characters. I thought, you know, it was a lot of fun. So, Cabin Fever, definitely. It's a lot better than that stupid remake. I don't even know why they decided to do that, but anyway, I'll put these over here. All right, so now we are into my top 10. Now, this one made my top 10 because it really, I want to say it really surprised me, because when it comes to horror movies that come out nowadays, I'm always just kind of like, you know, it just seems like your typical slasher or your just typical jump scare kind of film. This was neither. Ready or Not. This one really surprised me. Basically, a killer game of hide and seek. They take these kid games and make them into horror movies. They're doing Truth or Dare. Then there was Rock, Paper, Scissors. And now we got, you know, hide and go seek pretty much. But this is another peel back the layer kind of movie, because there's more going on here than what's being shown. Of course, at the end you find out. But why are they trying to kill her? You know, why she's getting married in this family, and why are they trying to kill her and hunt her down? Because they're playing this game. Really interesting. It kept me on the edge of my seat and wanting to know what was going on. So, Ready or Not, definitely it makes my top 10. Coming in at number 9 is Leprechaun Returns. I love this film. It's a direct sequel to the first. The first is my favorite of the Leprechaun movies. This is definitely my second favorite. They did such a good job, even though this wasn't Warwick Davis. It didn't need to be, because the guy was fantastic. And it was a lot bloodier than I thought it would be. But yeah, just a fantastic movie. This is really how you do a direct sequel, in my opinion, especially coming out nowadays. Like I said, horror movies are, in my opinion, they're watered down a lot of times, even if they're PG-13. I mean, you have the Grudge remake, you have Black Christmas. I mean, come on. They're terrible movies. They're just, what is going on? They just don't make them like they used to. So, like I said, they feel watered down. All right, number 8 is The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Love this one. Tobe Hooper made a completely different movie, because the first one is so classic and so good that, you know, they made a different one. Dennis Hopper swinging around the chainsaws, having a chainsaw fight. Just a really, really fun movie. All right, so we're on to number 7. and that is The Monster Squad. I watched this as a kid, and just loving how they had all the Universal monsters. You know, you have Creature from the Black Lagoon, Wolfman, Dracula, Mummy, Frankenstein. And even those vampire chicks are scary. There's some creepy parts in this movie. But I will always think of this as one of my favorites, for sure. Great music, great characters. I like the look, like I said, of the monsters. And to have them in all in one movie was awesome. So the Monster Squad comes in at number 7. Number 6 is Beetlejuice. Don't say his name. Michael Keaton is awesome as Beetlejuice. I love the cast. You got Catherine O'Hara from Home Alone. You got Jeffrey Jones. You got Gina Davis, Alec Baldwin, Winona Ryder. Tim Burton. This is definitely one of his best films. And they're supposed to be doing another one. And I hope they do, because I think Michael Keaton can still do it. Nice fucking model! But yeah, Beetlejuice. Now, this may come as a surprise to some of you. Number 5, we're on my top 5 now, is This Is the End. This movie is freaking hilarious. It was directed by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, but they all play themselves in this movie. James Franco, you got Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, Danny McBride, Craig Robinson, Michael Cera, Emma Watson. Huge cast, but here's the thing about this movie. The effects in this are so good. It makes some of these other horror movies that put a lot of time and effort into it, make them look like shit. This movie, I was so surprised on how good it was. You know, with that big, huge demon that's walking on the earth, they made it look so awesome. This movie has awesome creatures, and they're just so funny. Like, Danny McBride was hilarious in this movie. I'll come anywhere I want, Franco. I'll come on these walls. I'll come on anything. This movie, if you have not seen it, you are missing out. This is probably one of the best that Seth Rogen has ever done, because I'm not the biggest fan of Seth Rogen. I think he does the same thing. I think he does the same thing every movie. This is a movie that I think they're basically themselves, but they're making fun of the situation that they're big Hollywood stars and stuff. It really makes the movie that much better. It really does. But it's basically about the rapture, the end of the world. A lot of fun. Alright, so number 4 is Gremlins. Of course, I've talked about this movie a lot. Joe Dante. Don't feed them after midnight. Don't get them wet. Don't expose them to sunlight. Just something furry and cute that turns into something slimy and ugly. I always like the Peltzer creations, the inventions. I always love the part where Billy goes downstairs and he takes an orange and he tries to put it in that peeler juicer thing, and it just goes everywhere. I always like how the inventions turn out to be garbage, like the bathroom buddy. You got your shaving, you got your shaver, you got your toothbrush. I like all the inventions that he makes, and then they just go wrong. Just everything about this movie is just great. I like Gremlins 2 as well, but... Alright, what are we on? Number 3, so we're in my top 3 now, is Tremors. Fuck you! Those sons of bitches. The first Tremors with Fred Ward and Kevin Bacon is great. I love it as a monster flick. This giant worm that goes around sucking people under the ground is awesome. And Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward make a great team. That's why I wish they were together in the other movies. The second movie had Fred Ward, and Kevin Bacon was supposed to come back for that TV show, which they canceled, and that pissed me the hell off. But yeah, it's a great movie. A lot of creepy parts in it too, but it is also funny, and most of it comes from Fred Ward and Kevin Bacon. So, all right, number 2. I was debating whether to put this in, in the top 20 or even on the list, because it's not really considered a horror film. It's actually like a supernatural comedy, but there are horror elements in it. There's some creepy parts. I mean, imagine watching this as a kid, like I did. But I went ahead and listed it because it's one of my favorites, and I'm going to say Ghostbusters, the very first Ghostbusters. Yeah, it's not really listed as a horror film, but there are horror elements. You know, the Stay Puft stuff, all the ghost stuff with the terror dogs, and you know, all the haunting stuff of the hotel. You know, there's even though it's probably more funny than scary. As a kid, I thought it was scary. But even Ghostbusters 2. But the first Ghostbusters is, in my opinion, a masterpiece in comedy. It really is. It really does everything right. The characters and the actors brought it to life. You know, Ivan Reitman really knew how to bring the franchise, you know, bring the franchise to the top. Because you know, you had the cartoon and the action figures, the toys, just everything Ghostbusters. It was like a culture, pretty much, and it still is. So yeah, number 2 for me is Ghostbusters. Number 1 comes at no surprise. My number 1 favorite horror comedy of all time is The Return of the Living Dead. This is a zombie masterpiece. You know, what makes this different from the Romero zombies is that it really went on its own. Dan O'Bannon directed this, and he, you know, there's characters that you kind of really like in this movie, and then there's characters you really hate. But you can't really say that with a lot of other zombie films like you can with this one. And a lot of memorable quotes. And the thing about this is, what makes it different from the Romero zombies is that they're fast, and they're, you know, they're only after brains. They're not trying to bite you and turn you or eat you alive, eat your guts and all that stuff. That's not what these zombies do. They go for the brains, but they can tackle you, they can run, they can even talk, okay? They're actually smarter, and here's the thing, shooting them in the head doesn't work, okay? It does not work. You can try to dismember them, but all the parts will come after you. You can try to burn them, but all that toxin stuff that's on them will get into the rain and will, you know, start dripping on everything, and everything starts to move. So there's really no way to stop them. The only way you could probably stop them is putting acid on them and just dissolving everything. That's probably the only way, because, you know, this movie proves that you can't shoot them in the head, you can't dismember them, you can't burn them. It does all that. So these zombies, in a way, are much scarier than any of the Romero dead zombies. I mean, I'd be more scared of these than the Romero ones. But that's what I like about it. They did something different. It's on its own. They even talk about Night of the Living Dead in this movie. They make it seem like Night of the Living Dead was actually based on true events. And that's how they played it in this film. Did you ever see that movie, Night of the Living Dead? Yeah, that's where the corpses start eating the people, right? They changed all the facts around. See, what really happened is this stuff got all over these dirty, contaminated bodies, and they started to twitch. And so the army sent these bodies to the chemical plant, or to that warehouse on accident. And that's what really happened. So they talk about how George Romero actually changed all the facts around in Night of the Living Dead. That's not what really happened. So they kind of play off that story a little bit. And they don't even say Romero. They couldn't even say Romero. They're like, the guy who made the movie. That's what they kept saying. The guy who made the movie, if he told the truth, then they would just sue his block off. So he changed all the facts around. I really like that side plot, the story, making this seem like it's the real thing. So I can appreciate this movie, you know, more than any other horror comedy because of its originality and the humor and the characters. So that is my number 1 favorite, The Return of the Living Dead. All right, guys. So that is my list really quick. The one that I didn't put on there is Shaun of the Dead. Why? I don't think that movie's that great. I think it's overrated. I really don't understand I just do not like that movie. So that's the one that I did the list, and you know, if you guys have in your list, that's fine, but I just didn't like it. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next one.